Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about a development that has shaken European politics and raised serious questions about the future direction of the European Union. The phrase being used across newsrooms and policy circles is simple but alarming. The EU is now in crisis mode after the Denmark-Sweden decision. What exactly happened, why it matters, and how it could reshape Europe going forward are the key points we will break down in this video. Over the past few years, the European Union has faced one challenge after another. From economic slowdowns and inflation to energy shortages, migration pressures, and rising political polarization, the bloc has been under constant stress. Yet despite all of this, the EU has managed to project an image of unity and collective purpose. That image, however, has been badly shaken by the recent coordinated decision involving Denmark and Sweden. Denmark and Sweden have long been seen as stable, cooperative, and reliable members of the European political order. They are often viewed as pragmatic countries that balance national interests with European cooperation. This is why their latest move has caught many EU officials off guard. The decision, taken jointly and with clear intent, signals frustration with how the EU currently functions and how certain policies are being enforced across member states. At the heart of the issue is sovereignty and control. Denmark and Sweden have both argued that the EU has increasingly overreached into areas that should remain under national authority. While the European Union was originally designed to encourage cooperation and economic integration, critics say it has evolved into a system that dictates policy in ways that do not always reflect national realities. For Denmark and Sweden, this frustration has been building quietly over time. On issues such as migration policy, border controls, security cooperation, and regulatory standards, both countries feel that Brussels has failed to deliver effective solutions. Instead, they argue, EU-wide policies often create more problems than they solve, especially for countries with unique geographic and social conditions. The recent decision, while legal within existing frameworks, represents a symbolic break from the usual pattern of compliance. It shows that even traditionally cooperative nations are now willing to challenge the EU openly. This has triggered alarm bells in Brussels, Berlin, Paris, and other major European capitals. One reason this decision is so serious is timing. Europe is already dealing with external pressures, including geopolitical tensions, global economic uncertainty, and ongoing conflicts near its borders. At such a moment, internal unity is seen as essential. Any visible crack in that unity is quickly interpreted as a sign of weakness, both by allies and by rivals. EU officials fear that Denmark and Sweden's move could inspire other countries to follow a similar path. Nations that have already been critical of Brussels, particularly in Central and Eastern Europe, may now feel emboldened. If more states start asserting national control over shared policies, the entire EU framework could begin to unravel. Another major concern is trust. The European Union relies heavily on trust between member states. Policies are designed on the assumption that everyone will play by the same rules and accept collective decisions, even when they are inconvenient. When countries begin to opt out or reinterpret agreements, that trust erodes quickly. Denmark and Sweden have defended their decision by pointing to domestic political pressure. In both countries, public opinion has shifted noticeably in recent years. Voters are increasingly skeptical of centralized authority and more concerned about national identity, economic security, and social cohesion. Governments responding to these concerns feel compelled to take stronger national positions. This highlights a broader trend across Europe. Populist and nationalist movements have gained ground in many EU countries. Even where such parties are not in power, their influence is shaping mainstream politics. Leaders who once championed deeper integration are now more cautious, aware that pushing too hard could cost them elections. The Denmark-Sweden decision also raises questions about equality within the EU. Some critics argue that larger states often have more influence over EU policy, while smaller or mid-sized countries are expected to adapt. Denmark and Sweden's move can be seen as a protest against this perceived imbalance of power. Economically, the implications are complex. The EU single market depends on uniform rules and shared standards. Any deviation creates uncertainty for businesses and investors. While Denmark and Sweden remain committed to the broader market, selective non-alignment introduces legal and financial gray areas that could have long-term consequences. Financial markets have already reacted cautiously. While there has been no immediate shock, analysts are watching closely. Investors worry that political fragmentation could slow decision-making and weaken the EU ability to respond to future crises. Confidence once lost is hard to rebuild. There is also a legal dimension to consider. The European Union is governed by treaties that are binding on member states. While there is room for flexibility, persistent challenges to EU authority could lead to legal disputes. Such disputes would not only strain relationships, but also consume time and political capital. Diplomatically, the situation puts pressure on EU leadership. Brussels must decide how to respond without escalating tensions. A harsh response could push Denmark and Sweden further away, while a soft response might encourage others to test the limits. Striking the right balance is proving extremely difficult. Some EU officials argue that this moment should be used as an opportunity for reform. They believe the Denmark-Sweden decision highlights genuine weaknesses in the current system. Instead of forcing compliance, they suggest opening a serious dialogue about how the EU can become more flexible and responsive to national concerns. Others disagree strongly. They warn that too much flexibility could turn the EU into a loose and ineffective alliance. From their perspective, the strength of the European Union lies in its ability to act collectively and enforce common rules. Allowing exceptions, they argue, undermines that strength. Public reaction across Europe has been mixed. In some countries, media coverage has been sympathetic to Denmark and Sweden, portraying them as standing up for national interests. In others, especially in core EU states, the move is seen as irresponsible and potentially dangerous. Social media has amplified these divisions. Supporters frame the decision as a courageous stand against bureaucracy, while critics accuse Denmark and Sweden of selfishness. The debate has become emotional, reflecting deeper anxieties about Europe's future. It is important to understand that this is not about leaving the EU. Neither Denmark nor Sweden has expressed any intention to exit the Union. Instead, their decision represents a challenge from within. This makes it more complex than a straightforward exit scenario because it forces the EU to confront internal dissent rather than external separation. Historically, the European Union has survived crises by adapting. The Eurozone crisis, Brexit, and the pandemic all tested the bloc in different ways. Each time, compromises were made and new mechanisms were introduced. The question now is whether the EU can once again evolve without losing its core identity. Security considerations also play a role. Europe's security environment has become more unstable, and cooperation among EU members is crucial. Any political fragmentation could weaken coordination on defense, intelligence, and border management. Denmark and Sweden insist that their decision does not undermine security cooperation, but skepticism remains. Another factor is precedent. Once one or two countries successfully challenge EU norms, it becomes harder to stop others from doing the same. This could lead to a patchwork Europe, where rules vary widely from country to country. Such a scenario would mark a fundamental shift away from the EU original vision. The situation has also exposed generational divides. Younger Europeans, who grew up with the EU as a given, often value freedom of movement and shared identity. Older generations may prioritize sovereignty and national control. Denmark and Sweden's decision reflects these internal debates within societies. From a communication standpoint, the EU has struggled. Mixed messages from officials have created confusion. Some statements emphasize unity and dialogue, while others hint at consequences. This lack of clarity has only fueled speculation and concern. As negotiations continue behind closed doors, the rest of the world is watching closely. The EU is a major global actor, and its internal stability affects international trade, diplomacy, and security. Any sign of fragmentation weakens its global influence. For Denmark and Sweden, the coming months will be crucial. They must navigate the consequences of their decision while maintaining relationships with EU partners. Domestically, their governments will need to show that the move delivers tangible benefits, not just symbolic victories. For the European Union, this is a moment of reckoning. The bloc must decide whether it wants to push forward with deeper integration or recalibrate toward a more flexible model. Either choice carries risks, and there is no easy path forward. What is clear is that the Denmark-Sweden decision has exposed underlying tensions that can no longer be ignored. The EU is not just dealing with a policy disagreement, but with a broader identity crisis. What does it mean to be a member of the European Union in today's world? As citizens across Europe watch events unfold, trust in institutions is on the line. How this crisis is handled will shape public perception for years to come. A thoughtful, inclusive approach could strengthen the EU, while a confrontational one could deepen divisions. In the end, the EU in crisis mode is not just a headline. It reflects a real and ongoing struggle to balance unity and diversity, collective strength and national autonomy. The Denmark-Sweden decision has forced this struggle into the open. As we move forward, one thing is certain. Europe is entering a new phase, one defined by hard questions and difficult choices. Whether this moment leads to renewal or further fragmentation will depend on the decisions made now. That's all for today's video. If you found this explanation helpful and want to stay updated on major global and European developments, make sure to stay connected. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.